Imagine the damp chill of a May morning in 1536, the kind that seeps into bones like judgment from on high. Stone walls rise grim around a muddy courtyard in the heart of London, where crows wheel overhead and the Thames laps hungrily at Traitor's Gate below. A woman emerges from shadow, her once proud step faltering only slightly on the slick cobbles. She is dressed simply now, grey damask clinging to a frame thinned by terror and fasting, but her head lifts with a grace that defies the irons clanking at her wrists. Around her, guards in steel breastplates shift uneasily, their pikes lowered but eyes averted. A crowd gathers on scaffolds and battlements, hundreds strong, their breath fogging the air in silent clouds. No catcalls rise, no stones fly. Only the executioner's blade, hidden behind his back as cruel custom demands, catches a stray sunbeam. She kneels on fresh straw, neck bared like a sacrificial lamb. Her lips move in prayer, words tumbling in English and French, steady as a heartbeat. To the onlookers she offers pardon. To heaven, her soul. The swordsman circles once, twice, forcing her to crane and search. Then the whistle cuts air thick with incense and fear. One stroke, clean. Her head tumbles free, dark eyes wide in final surprise, lips parted on an unfinished breath. The crowd inhales sharply, a collective gasp swallowed by wind, moaning through iron gates. This was no common felon's end. This was Anne Boleyn, Queen of England, mother to a future ruler, architect of a schism that rent Christendom asunder, beheaded not for sorcery or rebellion, but for whispers of adultery, twisted into treason, by the very court she helped build. What none of them knew in that hushed moment was that this underdog from Kentish gentry, risen by wit alone, carried in her blood the seed that would humble kings and birth an empire. Stay with me, dear friends, as we walk the shadowed path of her life and fall through mud-floored hovels and gilded halls, where feudal chains bound the lowly and divine right, armored the cruel. This tale of hidden worth against inherited tyranny will stir your blood and linger in your thoughts. If Anne's final defiance already moves you, pause here and share in the comments. Where do you watch from tonight? A warm fireside in Pennsylvania, a quiet room in Florida, somewhere the river murmurs like the Thames of old. Hit subscribe and ring the bell. These journeys into history's underbelly come regular, and you'll not want to miss the next. Deep in the Kentish countryside of late 1501, or perhaps early 1507, where thatched roofs sagged under perpetual rain and mud floors sucked at bare feet like greedy mouths, a girl-child entered the world unremarked. Hever Castle loomed grey against sodden fields, its walls cold stone that drank warmth from hearth fires before it reached huddled servants. Elizabeth Howard, wife to minor gentleman Thomas Boleyn, laboured through the night, amid screams muffled by straw pallets and birthing herbs that reeked of damp earth. No midwives sang praises here for a second daughter. Anne emerged, small, dark-haired, eyes like polished jet-sharp, watchful, nothing like the fair Mary who would follow. From her first breath, life clawed at her. Winters bit with frost that blackened toes and lungs alike. Summers brought flux from fouled wells, plague fear slinking through villages like smoke. Hunger gnawed constant, pottage thinned with chaff, bread black as sin. The Boleyns scraped by under feudal yoke. Thomas held scraps of land by fealty to greater lords, owing labour and harvest thirds to the Duke of Norfolk up the chain. Serfs toiled dawn to dusk, ploughing rocky soil behind sway-backed oxen, backs bent till they snapped, only to face reeves with whips for shortfall. Church bells tolled not joy but dread tithes devoured the rest, priests thundering damnation for withheld grain, branding dissent heresy, fit for ducking stools or pyre. Violence shadowed every path, border reivers raiding from Scotland, press gangs hauling boys to French wars, witch panics where neighbours turned on healers with a child's fever unbroken. Anne grew amid this mire, her small hands blistered from scything, churning, scrubbing flagons till knuckles bled. Yet, in stolen moments by rushlight, when father murmured Latin, scraps from smuggled scrolls, Roman tactics, Greek herbs, she absorbed like parched earth rain. Her eyes missed nothing. The reeve's false tallies, priest's lecherous glance, lord's tax evasion masked as piety. Hidden depths simmered, unvoiced, for knowledge in a girl's hands, invited accusations of devil's bargain. Far above this squalor towered the antagonist's realm, woven from bloodlines thicker than chainmail and divine right forged in hellfire. Thomas Cromwell, risen blacksmith's son turned iron-fisted enforcer under Henry VIII, embodied feudal cruelty's pinnacle. No high-born fool he, but guildmaster's cunning wed to lordly arrogance, his Westminster chambers panelled oak, gleaming with seized monastery gold. Born humble like Anne, he twisted assent into venom, viewing peasants as vermin under boot. Absolute power coursed his veins, master of attainders, dissolutions, rack chambers where screams bought confessions. He flogged tax dodgers in village squares till skin peeled like birch, heads shaved and branded R for rebel, left to starve chained in stocks, while children pelted filth. Public humiliations fed his sport. Women ducked till blue-lipped for witch whispers, men castrated for poached hair, gibbets creaking along roadsides with corvids feasting guts. Superstition served him accusing rivals of sorcery, inquisitor priests thumb-screwing heretics in incense-choked cells. Peasants, disposable as plough oxen, worked to death then replaced, their hovels burned for enclosure, families scattered to moors where wolves claimed the weak. Cromwell's laugh echoed hollow, his world thrones of bone, chains faith twisted to bind souls eternal. Collision shattered fragile peace in April 1536, market day at Greenwich Palace Yard where stalls hawked fly-blown eels and wilted greens to hollow-bellied crowds. Anne Boleyn, queen 3 years, moved through throng in French hood and velvet, distributing alms from monastery spoils she championed. Cromwell, eyes hooded as vulture, intercepted with sheriff's scroll demanding audit of Boleyn lands tithes unpaid. He claimed heresy by implication. Tax collection turned spectacle. Guards seized her lady's pouches, upending coins into mud, Reeve's whip cracking air as vendors knelt. Anne protested quietly, voice steady. Mercy for the poor, as Christ taught. Cromwell sneered, voice booming for all. Witch's tongue from French courts, defying God's order. Your alms fund Lutheran poison, queen or no. He ordered her jewels confiscated on spot, mockery ringing. Fallen gentlewoman playing charity. Guards prodded her forward, crowd frozen in terror, eyes downcast, hearts pounding complicit silence. No hand rose. To challenge Cromwell meant rack or noose. Anne endured, chin high amid humiliation, dignity unbroken as Reeve spat at her hem. Word of the slight burned through court like peat smoke. Cromwell escalated swift, weaving cruelty tighter than rack ropes. False accusations flew. Anne harbored heretics, whispered against dissolution, bewitched the king. Public punishment commenced at Westminster Hall, packed with nobles. Her brother George Boleyn, Viscount Rochford, flogged before assembly for incestuous jests, lashes drawing crimson lines, his screams muffled by gag. Anne forced witness, chained to pillar, starvation gnawing bread mouldy, water fouled. Torture threats loomed. Rack in tower cellars where limbs stretched till popped, thumbscrews twisting till nails split. Witnesses participated fearful. Ladies confessed trifles under duress, turning faces away from her gaze. Exile whispered for kin, banished to barren fens where ague claimed lives. Church condemned her Sunday masses, priests branding her paramour's spawn Elizabeth bastard of devil's seed. Peasants murmured witch abroad, ducking stools primed. Yet Anne held controlled, observant eyes mapping Cromwell's feints, resilient spirit coiled like Glen Spring, noting every wavering ally, every slip in forged papers. Peak came Pentecost Eve, 1536. Great assize in King's Bench Hall where candle smoke curled thick and chains clanked ominous. Cromwell summoned Anne and retainers before rigged tribunal stakes monstrous. Conviction meant burning alive for heresy or beheading for treason. Elizabeth orphaned bastard, lands forfeit, souls damned per canon law twisted to his will. Challenge, interpret sealed Latin decree from papal archives, seized in dissolution. purporting Boleyn dowry invalid, lands church property by Gratian's decretum. Priests loyal to Cromwell mangled text, claiming divine curse on her womb, eternal damnation for all bearing her name. Survival hung by thread. Fail. And pyre lit at Smithfield. Succeed. Perhaps mercy. Crowd of bishops, barons, common jurors, crammed benches, time pressing toward execution dawn, dramatic irony, thick as they judged the queen who freed their abbeys. Anne stepped forward, rags of once fine kirtle muddied, face gaunt but eyes steel. In flawless Latin, honed from French cloisters and fathers' hidden scrolls, she recited decree verbatim, voice clear over murmurs. "But herein lies falsehood, my lords," she proclaimed. "This invokes Codex Iuris Canonici, clause septima decima, binding only prelates' vows, not lay dowries like Boleyn's from Norman Grant 1086. You pervert Decretales Gregorii 9, Chapter de Matrimonies, which demands witness oaths, absent here, contradictio, in adjecto. Your law consumes itself like serpent tail." Gasps rippled benches. Priests blanched, fumbling codices. Cromwell faltered, confusion etching brow. "Whence this learning, gentlewoman?" he spat. Anne met gaze unflinching. "From texts your agents burn as Lutheran fire, from lips your whips silenced, from surviving where truth hides plain as dawn." Hall stirred, unease crackling like storm wind. Old chaplain Father Elias, witness ally risking pyre, nodded slow. "She speaks aright. I heard her debate Tyndale in privy chamber. Child novice from chapel, innocent eyes wide, piped clear, like the virgin disputing doctors. Jurors shifted, power trembling faint as first Fisher in dam. Cromwell roared seizure, but doubt seeded guards' halberds. Silence blanketed King's bench like nave hush midnight. Anne's words weightier than crozier stone. Tribunal froze, candles guttering shadows long across parchment piles. Cromwell's fist slammed oak, veins corded rage, yet dread flickered eyes his web snagged. Chaplain Elias rose trembling, voice gravel sacrament. By holy orders, she unmasks forgery. Silence deepened, profound as grave. Anne reached hidden fold kirtle, drawing vellum charter yellowed age, but seal pristine golden rampant lion of Plantagenet, unbroken Norman ink. Gasps tore assembly like rent cloth. "This," she declared, "Nova Carta de Boleyn, granted Alexander III, 1251, to my grandsire for barrack service, witnessed Archbishop Bigod and Earl Marshal. Not churl's blood, but Marcher lineage, guardians Welsh borders. Training exposed, fostered Lambeth Palace, Dominican tutelage Latin, Greek, Arabic from Crusader tomes, strategy from Agincourt veterans. When monasteries fell, I archived these truths, preserving what dissolution devours. Utter quiet reigned, bishops crossing frantic, barons leaning necks craned. Cromwell's world crumbled, condemn Marcher Knight's heir, courted excommunication, Henry's wrath, papal bull from Avignon. Crowd grasped waves. They cheered her rise, bowed her fall, aided injustice against crown's ancient vein. Elias wept open, fists clenched. Novice clasped hands prayer. Guard captain dropped pike, kneeling mud. Power reversed heartbeat throb. Scales tipping truth's weight. Gates thundered hooves. Heralds parting for figure dust caked grey Archbishop Thomas Cromwell, revelation agent archive keeper, ridden dawn rumors assize. What devilry grips Hall? He boomed clerical thunder. Eyes lit charter, recognition dawning sun forth. Boleyn blood, lost daughter Hever. Mercy saints, we mourned you French plagues. Cromwell blanched parchment, oaths loyalty hollow. Cranmer sees decree, scanning swift. She speaks true. Lex canonica endures, your tithes theft, not law. Heresy yours, Cromwell, perverting sacred writ. Deeper twist blade plunged. Anne's voice sliced murmurs, forged calm. More, Holy Father. 1520. Field cloth gold. I witnessed secret treaty fragments. Roman viaducts under Thames. Moorish siege engines blueprints your French wars crave. Henry seeks them, starve rebels, choke London. I hold keys, Arabic fluent from Navarre scholars, maps preserved dissolution flames, reveal. Your navy crumbles no shot. Cranmer's eyes saucered, assembly gasping. Such law threatened power, edifice supply severed, castles thirsting, Henry's conquest starved root. Cromwell staggered, guards parting reeds, arrogance, sweat terror. Hallstones held breath power fully inverted. Anne stood accused no more. Accuser, hidden mastery splendor unveiled. Antagonist clutched shadows. Witnesses fear, hope, fervent. Captain knelt, sword drawn. My lady, command. Novice forward clutched hand. Lion feared. Tension crested. Air humming destiny. Justice dawn feudal night. Truth shattered chains. Humbled mighty reckoned. Justice thundered king's bench like torrent glen. Sweeping feudal silt divine instant. Cranmer raised ring pastoral high. Amethyst flashing candle. Voice Rome authority rolling. Cromwell. Condemned own scrolls twisted. Perverting lex canonica. Shedding innocent blood. False decree. Mockery tribunal. Excommunication upon you every whip-wielder charade. Lands revert crown England. Soul barred gods till penance. Knees bloody. Guards blind. Arms down share fate. Assembly roared cathartic. Voices affirming. Hearts knew long. Cromwell knees buckled. Black robes pooling, rushes spilled blood. Face ashen ruin. Tyrant no more. Claude Cranmer hem. Babbling fealty Henry ringed hollow life pleas. Mercy grace. Served kings divine. Cranmer booted aside Winterstone. Kings divine bends God's law profaned. Seize. Captain fervent wrenched arms, irons clank finality. Knights dragged dungeons, boots scraping futile earth. Screams crowd, exultant din swallowed. Disgrace swift. Stripped Chaucer's square, head dulled, blade ragged blood stripes. Branded chest-hot broken Tudor rose. Flogged elders hurled dungstones. Laughter vengeful mirror humiliations heaped. Exile Edward court disgrace. Name byword tyrants fallen. Lands stripped family beggared dawn light. Compassion flickers rewarded swift. Father Elias first voiced assent purse silver Cranmer hand. Royal chantry promise. Lands kin return charter. Sons freed serfdom apprentice clerks. Novice little Agnes silver reliquary blessed papal. Mother widow pension tithes perverted. Captain knighthood renewed Boleyn banner. Manor safe levy. Mercy rippled. Flogged retainers, wounds salved healers. Families granaries bursting reclaimed. Word reckoning blazed beacon across England breadth. Minstrels lutes, squares. Ballads, peasant queen, humbled ministers, Latin fire, lowlands York. Courts buzzed. Lambeth abbots' prophecies fulfilled. Westminster nobles sneered common once sought council law. Monasteries copied Nova Carta candle. Truths, bulwark plunder. Systems shifted. Tithes recalibrated canon clauses. Serfs manumission whispers. Enforcers reigned hidden scrolls fear. Corrupt Cromwell ilk fell. Guardians wary buried knowledge. False total fealty cracked. Papal Avignon citing assize precedent autonomy. Ripples England. Henry raging Boulogne. Baffled viaducts. Boleyn maps sealed. Anne Boleyn transformed dawn span. Outlaw queen ghost strode Westminster mail burnished. Lute side scepter defiance. Cranmer knighted afresh, cheering throng. Guardian faith pro tem. Lineage affirmed courts. Safety enveloped. Solar palace fire. Roaring chill. Trencher venison. Bread untainted. Bed feathers Marian ghosts faded resolve. Recognition bloomed. Messengers words Robert Dudley. Alliances revelation forge. Trained scholars, reformers. Arabic phrases, war cries. Underdog ascended throne legend peak. Depths Scotland shield. Thematic heart pulsed deeper. Lessons soul etched. Judge worth birth soiled kirtle crown tarnished. Nobility wisdom quiet flame dignity spine unbowed. Divine authority lie twisted whips. Gibbets, crumbles. Truth, light God. Favors mailed fist, just heart. Middle Ages darkest superstition chains. Wisdom endures, dignity defies, justice prevails. Dawn, endless night. Anne embodied. Observer thunder, underestimated spark, national blaze. Ripple generations. Agnes abbess, cloister haven, learned outcasts. Preserving viaducts, baffled monarchs. Elias Chantry birthed reformers' tracts. Cromwell fall, echoed edicts, curbing enforcers' whims. Excesses checked, assize ghost. Families starved, tilled freed soil. Children reciting Latin schoolrooms reform. Institutions quaked. Church chastened, leaned Boleyn bishops. Henry's dreams faltered, knowledge rock. Epilogue unfolds years hence. 1558 Westminster Anne ghost walks. Hall's daughter Elizabeth crowned. Banners, thistle lion, snap proud. Below fields, bloodied English pride yield sheaves. Serfs, tenants, cups toast. Air pipes, triumphs. Elizabeth gazes Kent. Anne, memory, wind cheek. Freedom no crown, murmurs. Fire kindled mud, unquenchable iron flame. Realm nods, eyes fierce. Burn eternal. Dear friends. Underdog saga, medieval shadows stirred blood. Smash like button. Comment. Hidden strength carry trials? Watching where tonight? Share loved. Reminding truth topples tyrants. Subscribe, ring bell tales, resilience history brutal forge. Next hammer forgotten souls. Carry fire high.